done last time. So, given a linear transformation from a vector space V to W, we defined what is called the kernel of that linear transformation. So, that was all vectors in the domain which go to 0 vector whose image is 0. So, that is called the kernel or the null space of the linear transformation. Then we defined what is called the range. So, range is the image set. So, T u, u belonging to the domain V. So, that is called the range space, and we showed that both of them are subspaces. Not only that, they form a relation called the rank nullity relation, dimension of the kernel, that is the dimension of the null space. So, this kernel is a subspace of the domain plus the dimension of the range of T, which is a range of T is a subspace of the codomain. So, if you add these two together, you get dimension of V, the domain space. So, that is a rank nullity theorem, and as a consequence of that we stated this theorem, namely if T is a linear map from V to V from the same space to itself, then the following statements are equivalent, namely T is 1 1, it takes different vectors to different vectors. The kernel is the 0 space, there is no other element in the kernel other than the 0, and T is on 2. So, as rank nullity theorem, with what we are saying is a linear transformation T is 1 1 if and only if it is on 2. So, one of the properties is good enough to say the other. For functions, that is not true in general. For linear transformations V to V, that is true, and the proof is quite easy. Let us say T is 1 1. That means different elements go to different elements. So, if element V belongs to kernel of T, then we know that T of V is 0. So, that is same as T of 0. So, that implies by 1 1 property that V should be 0. So, 1 implies 2, and conversely you can show that 2 implies 1, namely look at the kernel of T, and we want, if it is 0, we want to show it is 1 1. So, and suppose T of u equal to T of V, then you can bring it on this side and use linearity property. So, that says that T of u v is equal to 0, that means that belongs to V minus u belongs to the kernel, that means V is equal to u, because kernel is only 0. So, this V minus u must be 0. So, V equal to u. So, 1 is equivalent to 2. 2 is equivalent to 3 is a direct consequence of the rank nullity theorem. By rank nullity theorem, dimension of the range is equal to dimension of V minus dimension of the kernel, right. So, if this dimension of the, if this is 0, that will happen if and only if dimension of the range is equal to dimension of V, right. So, dimension of kernel of T will be 0 if and only if these two are equal, but this is a subspace. So, that means the range should be equal to the full space. So, that is what it says. So, dimension of the range is equal to dimension of V if and only if kernel is 0, and that says that 2 is equivalent to 3. So, saying a linear transformation is 1 1 is equivalent to saying it is also on 2 and vice versa. So, that is a very useful property later on. We then looked at what is called the matrix of a linear transformation. So, we started looking at, given a basis V 1 V 2 V n, if we fix the order, then this is called an ordered basis of the vector space V. And for any vector V in V, we know because this is a basis. So, there must be unique vectors alpha 1 alpha 2 scalars alpha 1 alpha 2 alpha n, say that V is a linear combination. So, these unique scalars alpha 1 to alpha n, if we put them as a column vector, then this is called the coordinate vector of the vector V. These are called the coordinates, right. How much you have to go in the direction of V 1, you have to go alpha 1, in the direction of V 2, you have to go to alpha 2, and so on. So, these are called the coordinates of the vector V. So, the theorem says the following: suppose T is a linear transformation from V to W, and we fix an ordered basis for V and fix an ordered basis for W. So, B 1 is an ordered basis for the domain and B2 is an ordered basis for the codomain, that is W. So, given these ordered basis for the domain and the codomain fixed, keep in mind V is dimension n and W is of dimension m. So, the claim is there exists a unique matrix order m cross n, where m is the dimension of W and n is the dimension of V. So, there is a unique matrix A of order m cross n, says that if you take a vector V, take its image, so that will be in W, look at its coordinate vector, it is same as take the coordinate vector of the original vector V. So, that is the coordinate vector for V and multiply it by matrix. So, that is essentially saying that T of V can be obtained as matrix multiplication, right. In the beginning previous lectures we have seen every matrix multiplication give you a linear transformation. So, this is the other way around. So, gives you association between linear transformations and matrices, studying one is equivalent to studying the other one. So, we looked at an example last time. So, look at the linear transformation T from R3 to R2. So, this is given by T of x y z, an element in R3, the image is x minus 3z, 2x plus y and z. It is easy to check that this is a linear transformation. So, let us fix a basis on R3 and a basis on R2 and try to find out what is the matrix of this linear transformation. So, let us fix the standard basis on the domain as well as on the right. So, if I pick on R3, what is the standard basis? That is 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1, that I j k, and similarly I n j on R2. So, let us take the first vector in domain R3, the basis vector is 1 0 0, find out its image according to this formula, that is the definition. So, x is equal to 1, y equal to 0, z is equal to 0 in this. So, that gives you T of 1 0 0 is 1 2. Similarly, T of 0 1 0 by this definition is 0 1 and T of 0 0 1 is minus 3 1. So, what is the matrix? So, for the V1, for the first vector, whatever you get, that is the first column, this is the second column and that is the third column. So, that gives you the matrix 1 2. So, this comes as the first column, this comes as the second column and this comes as the third column. So, that is the matrix of the linear transformation, right. So, here is some simple properties which will not prove, but we will use them. So, given a basis on the domain and codomain, you can write down a matrix. The question is, if I take two linear transformations and add them, right, what is the matrix of that transformation, right, what is the matrix of scalar multiple of a linear transformation. So, this gives a relation, it says supposing T1 and T2 are two linear transformations, okay. LW VW means these are all set of all linear transformations from V to W, right, that is a set. So, if T1 and T2 are linear transformations, then the claim is T1 plus T2, which is defined as T1 plus T2 of a vector V is T1 of V plus T2 of V, like functions, real valued functions. Alpha of T1 is defined as alpha times T1 of V. So, given T1 and T2, you have defined what is the addition of linear transformation. This is the scalar multiple of linear transformations. The claim is both of them are again linear transformations, and if I fix a basis on V and W, then look at the sum of the linear transformation T1 plus T2, find out its matrix with respect to B1 on domain, B2 on codomain. It is same as taking the matrice, finding the matrices of individual one and adding them. So, the theorem just says addition, its matrix is same as finding matrix of each individual and adding them up, and same for scalar multiple. One can write a proof which is very easy, but will not go into the proof of this. Well, let us try to see some illustration of this. Okay, let us look at these two transformations. T is given by, so T is from R2 to R2. Okay, T of x y is equal to 2x plus 2x comma 3y. Another linear transformation S x y is x plus y, x minus y. We are fixing a basis B on, right, 1 0 on the domain, and fixing a basis C on the codomain. We are fixing a different basis, right, and want to verify all those relations. So, what are the relations we want to verify? That if I take the sum, right, find out the matrix of T plus S with respect to C on the domain and B on the codomain, then this addition of this. Let us compute and verify, try to see whether it is okay, right. This will also give you an idea of how to compute things. So, let us look at T is from R2 to R2, T of x y is equal to 2x 3y, right, and what is the basis here in the domain? That is given as C. The basis is 1 1 0 2, and basis on the codomain is given by B, which is the standard basis 1 0 0 1, right. So, this C is the basis on R2, which is the domain, and B is the basis on the codomain. So, we want to find what is the matrix of T with respect to C from C to B, right. Okay. So, what do? I look at the basis on the domain. This is V1, V2. So, let us find what is T of the first one, that is 1 1, and similarly T of the other one 0 2, right. So, what is T of 1 1 here? 1 1, that is gives me 2 comma 3, and T of 0 2. So, this is 0, this is 2. So, that gives you 0 6, right. Now, this is to be written as a linear combination of elements of. So, this is the T of something goes in R2 in the codomain, there the basis is this B. So, we have to write this as a linear combination of elements of B. So, what will be linear combination 2 3? It is 2 times 1 0 plus 3 times 0 1. Similarly, this one is 0 times 1 0 plus 6 times 0 1. Is that okay? So, what is the matrix? So, this matrix comes out to be, what is the first row? 2 3. The first column is 2 3, second column is 0 6. So, that is the matrix of this. So, okay. Let us find what is the matrix of the linear transformation S. What was S defined as? S of x y, x plus y, x minus y, right. Same process. So, what is S of 1 1 and what is S of 0 2? These two are the elements in the domain, basis elements of the domain. So, first vector, second vector. What is S of 1 1? X plus y, okay. So, that is 2 x minus y, that is 0. What is S of 0 2? So, 2 minus 2, right. So, what is this equal to? So, this is 2 0. So, this is 2 times 1 0 plus 0 times the basis there is 1 0 0 1. So, I have to write it as a linear combination. So, that is 0 1, and this is equal to 2 times 1 0 minus. So, let us write plus minus 2 times 0 1. Clear? So, take an element in the domain, basis element in the domain, find its image according to the expression that is given, write it as a linear combination of elements of the basis in the codomain. So, what are the vectors? So, that means our matrix S with respect to C and B is equal to first row first column 2 0, right, second one 2 minus 2. Okay. Is it clear to everybody what I was saying? So, this is 2 and this is 3. So, that comes as 2 and 3 here. Okay. Here the first one is 2 and 0. So, this comes out 2 and 0, right, and if you want to write the second one, that is 0 and 6. So, that is 0 and 6. Here it is 2 and minus 2. So, 2 and minus 2, right. So, that is how you write the matrix of a linear transformation given a basis, ordered basis in the domain and a ordered basis in the codomain. So, I have computed for T, I have computed for S, right. You as an exercise I will leave you for you to try, write down what is T plus S. So, let me write down what is T plus S. So, what is T plus S? So, T plus S of x y. So, that is T of x, T of x y plus S of x y. So, what is T of x y? That we know it is equal to 2 x 3 y. So, it is 2 x 3 y plus, and S of x y is x plus y, x minus y, right. So, that means this is equal to, so if so it is 3 x plus y and x plus 2 y, right. Once we have gotten that, now we have to just find what is T plus S of the basis element. So, 1 1 for C, what is that? What is T plus S of the second element is 0 2, find out this, right, as a linear combination of the basis, right. So, find out that. So, you will get some vector here, some vector here plus some vector here plus some vector here. So, what will be the first row, right, second will be, I am not doing that computation, I want you to do it yourself later on, right. So, according to this formula, compute what is T of this, write this as a linear combination of elements in the codomain, that gives you the rows, and then verify that for T plus S C B is same as T of C B. So, those two we have already computed, S of C and B. So, verify that, right. So, that is verification of the theorem, we are not proving the theorem, just verifying it. Okay. But in the process it is quite clear how to find the basis of given a ordered basis in the domain and a ordered basis in the codomain, how to find a matrix of that of that linear transformation, and then you can easily verify this also. So, that is the process required to verify. Okay. Let us go a step further. Not only for addition and scalar multiplication this holds, this also holds for composition. See, in functions you can compose one function with another one, right, if the range of one is in the domain of the other. So, same is possible here. For example, let us take 3 vector spaces u, v and w. Okay. Their dimensions are, dimension of u is k, dimension of v is n, and dimension of w is, they are different dimension, different vector spaces possibly. Now, I have got a linear transformation from v to w and another transformation from w to u, right. So, what I can do is I can take a vector v in v, by t it will go to a vector t v in w, and under S that vector will go to S of t v which is in u. So, that is a composition of the two linear transformations, right, like composing maps. So, let us define what is called the composition S composite t from v to u. So, this is t here. So, t first applies to v. So, that what you will get t of v, that will be an element in w, compute the image of that under S. So, that is S of T of V, and that is an element in U. So, this is called the composite of the linear transformations. Okay. So, this is a map from V to U, right, from the first to the last one. The claim is that this is again a linear transformation. Composite of linear transformations is again a linear transformation. Now, what we want to do is find out a relation. Supposing on V I fix a basis, on V I fix a basis, on W I fix a basis, and on U I fix a basis. Then I can find out what is the matrix of T, I can find out what is the matrix of S, right. I can also find out the matrix of the composite, right. The theorem says the matrix of the composite S composite T with respect to B1 and B3, B1 is on the first one, B3 is on the last one, is same as find the matrix of S with respect to B2 and B3 and multiply it with the matrix of T with respect to B1 and B2. So, the matrix multiplication, right, that we define the funny way in the beginning, you take this row, this column, add, and you get the ijth entry, that actually comes because of this reason. Okay. So, because that is a matrix for the composite, that is how it should be actually, right. So, we will not again prove this theorem, but note from the point of view of computing things, for the composite B1 B3, B1 is on V, B3 is on U, and when you compute the matrix of that, so here you see S is from W to U, so B2 B3, right, B2 is a basis here, B3 is a basis here, so it is B2 B3, T is matrix is with respect to B1 and B2. In the composite, what is happening is these two are essentially something like, right, B2 is getting removed, right. So, it is for S composite T, it is B1 and B3, is B1 and B3. Okay. Again, we will not prove this theorem, but you can compute example. You take S, in the previous example itself, you can take S and you can take T, you can compose and find out the matrices of them and see that is the product of the matrices. But it gives a very nice corollary. Supposing this S and T are related, that they are inverse of each other. Supposing S and T are related and they are inverse of each other, then what do you get? This will be identity map, right. So, this will be saying that identity matrix is equal to product of these two, right. That means that gives you the inverse of the inverse of the matrix of the linear transformation. If you start with a T which is 1 1 or on 2, right, and you know its matrix, then you can compute the matrix of the inverse by just inverting that matrix. You do not have to do the computation again. So, let us write that as a consequence of this theorem, namely if T is a linear transformation V to V and B is an ordered basis, then T is bijective. What is bijective? That is same as 1 1 on 2 if and only if its matrix is invertible, right, and the matrix of the inverse linear transformation is same as inverse of the matrix, right, the two interchange with each other. Okay.